Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare was a Konami game released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. It was based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 TV series. One thing that stands out about this game is the weird title. The mutants are the turtles themselves, and the nightmare refers to the final episode of the campaign, entitled Nightmare. The title does not refer to a nightmarish attack of mutants like I first thought it did. The title is bundled with the old arcade game, Turtles in Time, which is a very nice touch. Playing the old 2D Turtles is great for anyone who grew up playing it in the arcade. I will admit that I didn't bother to complete the Turtles in Time, because I still feel like this game is at its best when playing with friends. Playing Turtles in Time at home, on single player, just isn't as fun. It's kind of like Gauntlet Legends. Some games are just meant to be played with friends. Aside from that, there's also a bonus movie theater mode where you can unlock clips from the cartoon and unique videos made just for the game. Each video is unlocked by finding in-game collectibles in the form of a floating DVD disc. Retro alert, anyone? With the extras out of the way, let's get into the main game. The audio and visuals are both pretty good. Visually, it uses an almost cel-shaded approach that actually ages pretty well. The world of the Turtles is vibrant and colorful. The audio is just bursting with Turtles goodness as well. Each punch, kick, grunt, and team combo is fully voiced by the colorful Turtles cast. The audio really drives home the feeling that you're playing a Turtles game, and I love it.
That about sums it up.
Now, what is it like to actually play Mutant Nightmare? Well, the game is kind of a mix of genres. Do you remember those old Star Wars games on the SNES? If you answered yes, congratulations, you just dated yourself. But seriously, do you remember how those games featured arcadey racing segments, shooting segments, and other weird little quirks that mixed up the otherwise side-scrolling gameplay? That's what Mutant Nightmare is like. It's predominantly a slightly oblique top-down X-Men Legends-style beat-em-up with shooting galleries, gliding levels, and racing segments all mixed in. Levels offer no checkpoints, but they're brief, giving them all an arcade vibe that the game is going for. Each stage can last anywhere from 3 to 12 minutes, so the game is perfect to be played in little chunks. I thought the short level lengths were because it was aimed at a younger audience. The 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a kids show after all. But then I played the game, and after having my ass handed to me on normal difficulty mode, I decided it was definitely not made for kids. On hard difficulty, this game is no joke. Even on normal, the boss fights are very challenging. This is probably the reason why boss fights are levels unto themselves, since they will take you a couple tries to beat. I think the harder difficulties are there to give you a reason to replay the game after you powered up your turtles by buying them combos with gems, the only currency in the game, and equipping ninja scrolls, which are power-ups you find scattered throughout the levels. The ninja scrolls and gem purchased combos give the game a light RTS feeling. I say light, because it isn't very deep, and honestly, it doesn't need to be. I think the game strikes a good balance of being just approachable enough for kids, while also providing a challenge for adult Turtles fans. Now let's get to the pros and cons. Okay, cons first. As I mentioned, the audio and visuals are great, except when we're talking about the in-game cutscenes. Mutant Nightmare does have some beautiful 2D animated cutscenes lifted directly from the original cartoon. However, it also has CG rendered cutscenes made just for the game, and these are atrocious looking. The problem is they naturally get compared to the 2D animation, which makes them look shoddy and low budget. Also, the game has punishing difficulty spikes. This is where old passwords come into play, as they can buff your character with unlimited special attacks. But I shouldn't need to use passcodes just to clear certain boss fights, which can be irritatingly hard, even on normal difficulty. A side note, the old school passcodes are really neat, since these have been completely removed from modern games, except for indie titles. It's nice to see them here. The glider sections are loose and not fun. I get that they want to mix up the gameplay, and they accomplish that, but the glider sections just seem half-baked. The game would have been better off with only 1 or 2 of these included for variety, at the most. The story here is also weak and disjointed. The main campaign is broken up into 4 separate episodes that narratively feel like self-contained episodes that aren't related to one another. The first and third episodes are somewhat related, but barely. This isn't to say that there is no story. The game actually contains a lot of cutscenes, but the cutscenes taken from the TV series sometimes introduce new characters or locations we know nothing about. Overall, the story is disjointed and meandering, even if the characters and universe is fun. Fan favorite April O'Neil is largely absent from this game. There's an escort mission and a shooting stage that feature her, but the shooting mission is basically just a Turtles reskin, and the escort mission features a brain-dead April who wanders into enemy punches and cannot defend herself at all. April is a big part of the Turtles mythos, and she deserves better than this. There's also a weirdly flirty energy coming off of her, which seems out of place for this being based on a kid's show, but maybe that's just me.
They've got a bunch of us here in Central Park and... Oh!
Keep moving, you scum!
And your AI turtle comrades also idle in a very weird way. Just look at them here. They move around, they attack the air. I get that the turtles are fun and high energy, but this behavior for their AI is just weird. I've literally never played a game where AI squad mates idle like this, and I'm curious as to how they were programmed because this is so strange it seems like it had to be deliberate. Okay, now let's get into what does work well in Mutant Nightmare. Okay, remember how I said the cutscenes were a weakness of the game? Well, they're also a strength. The 2D cutscenes, while kind of out of place in the game, do make you want to go back and watch the animated series, so that's good advertisement at the very least. The top-down combat and shooting sections work well, especially the ones where the turtles are throwing shuriken. The shuriken levels have a very arcade feel, so I like their inclusion here. Your turtles also work together in combat to pull off special moves, so that's pretty cool. Most importantly, this is a legit Turtles game. This is the biggest praise I can heap on any Turtles title. If you're a fan of the Turtles IP, like I am, I had a Raphael birthday cake as a kid to prove it, then you will enjoy watching your favorite Turtles kick some serious animated butt. The personality of the whole gang is on full display, even if I do wish we got more from the supporting cast. If you were up for some shooting and beat-em-up fun, and you like the Turtles, this Mutant Nightmare might be just the kind of bad dream that you enjoy.
Well then why are we sitting here twiddling our shells? Let's move!